If you're signed up for the August LSAT, you're studying a version of the LSAT that LSAC has already told you in writing they cannot fix. Not that they won't fix it, that they can't fix it. They actually put out an official update and they said one specific thing about the new interface that's going to cost you an extra step from now on, and the platform can't do it any other way. Everyone who's taken the LSAT in the past never had to face this issue. Everybody who got a 170 they earned back in February or back in June, they took the test with an easier version, a better interface, but you don't get to take that version. Now, your score and their score end up in the exact same place, could be looked at by the same admissions officer, same scholarship formula. No one writes an asterisk next to your score saying that you took it on a clunky software. So I want to prepare you for this situation so you're not caught by surprise. I'm going to talk you through exactly what changed, why it only lands on you starting in August and beyond, and then why this whole mess is actually one of the best things that could happen to you if you're paying attention. Now, I've been teaching the LSAT since 2005. I read the LSAC announcements the day they drop, and I read the forums where people actually taking this test in a few weeks are melting down in real time. Now, starting with the August 2026 LSAC, LSAC moved the LSAT into a brand new delivery platform, and two things changed at once. One of them is that almost everybody is now taking the LSAT in person at a testing center instead of at home. And there are limited exceptions for medical accommodations or if you live too far from a testing center. LSAC says this is about testing security, preventing cheating, cutting down on the score holds that used to hold people back for weeks. And I'm not fighting the in-person move. I think there are valid reasons for it, given all the cheating. But a bigger problem that I think is more questionable is the way that the whole online computer interface got rebuilt. There are new buttons, a new way to highlight, a new way to cross off answers. Now, LSAC is very clear that the content of the LSAT has not changed. You still get two logical reasoning sections, one reading comp section, one unscored extra section. It's the same 120 to 180 scale. None of that changed. The questions are the same, but the tool that you use to take it has changed. And normally I'd say, who cares? It's just buttons. You'll adjust. But LSAC said something in their own update that you don't usually see an organization say out loud. They admitted that part of this cannot be changed. On the old LSAT, if you wanted to cross off a wrong answer, you clicked it. With one click, it was gone. If you wanted to pick an answer, you clicked it, one click, and you're done. But on the new platform, knocking out or eliminating a wrong answer takes an extra click. You've got to turn on the crossing off tool first, then cross off. And if you eliminated something by mistake, and now you actually want to select it, you've got to undo the elimination before you can pick it. And of course, me and several others all called on LSAC to make it work like it used to. It should be one click to pick and one click to cross off. But LSAC's answer, and I'm quoting the spirit of the update, not the words themselves, they said that because of the underlying structure of the new platform, they can't give you that. The extra click stays on the platform. Now think about what crossing off answers actually is on the LSAT. It's not a nice to have, I'd say it's mandatory, it's required. Process of elimination is the whole game in logical reasoning and reading comp. On a hard question, you win by knocking off the 4 wrong answers and keeping whatever's left over. You do that dozens of times across the test. And so if you take one extra click, that's just one extra half second of hunting for the right button, multiplied by 100 questions on the test. When you're already fighting the clock, it's an uphill battle. So as a result, there are going to be questions that you don't get to. Maybe the last 2 you had to guess on because you ran out of time. And the real issue here is the interruption. Every time you stop thinking about which answer survives and you start hunting for the right button, you lose the thread of the argument. And you've got to pick it up and reread where you were. And on a dense logical reasoning argument, that costs you way more time than the click itself did. And this LSAT is hard on purpose, right? You've got to have unbroken focus for at least 35 minutes at a time. And a glitchy tool that keeps pulling your attention away from the reasoning and focused more on the software is taxing the exact thing the LSAT's supposed to measure. It pushes the limits of your short-term working memory. Now, a few questions might not sound like much, but especially at the top end, the difference between a 170 and a 175 could just be a couple of questions. And that makes a massive difference in terms of getting you into better law schools, getting you more scholarship money. Those scale points at the top could mean six figures in tuition scholarships. And so it could cost you real time, and who eats that cost is you specifically. Now, this affects only those going forward taking the LSAT in August or beyond. Anyone who took it in June or prior took it with the old interface, and you're all in the same pool applying to law school this fall. And what law schools are doing is they're comparing your number to a class full of other applicants' numbers. And a big chunk of that class already has scores from earlier in this cycle and last cycle with a better interface. And so you're competing against them. Hopefully, of course, law schools are aware of the changes and they'll take them into account, but I wouldn't count on it because all they're doing is they're looking at that three-digit number on the screen. They're not auditing which build of the software you clicked through. The number is what matters. I mean, look at it from their perspective in terms of their incentives, the rankings, right? They want to get better LSAT numbers in their class to raise their standing in the rankings. And so all I could say for you is if you're taking the LSAT in August or beyond, go in prepared. Familiarize yourself with the LSAC Law Hub platform. That's the only software that perfectly reflects the experience that you're going to have on test day. Don't do your practice tests in books. Don't do it in ChatGPT. God forbid, please don't do that. Don't use LSAT for Dummies. Use the official LSAC software. You get 4 practice tests on there for free. More with a Law Hub Advantage subscription. Well worth the investment to get dozens of exams in the official LSAT format. And the thing, of course, is that the questions on there, for the most part, don't come with explanations. There's nobody that you can talk to get feedback from on what you're getting wrong and why. And so if you'd like my help, I'm offering free LSAT tutoring for everybody watching this now or later. You can book that free LSAT tutoring lesson with me personally at unpluggedprep.com/start. The link is below the video on YouTube, pinned in the chat on YouTube, in my bio on TikTok and IG.